the IBF stripped Canelo Alvarez. What does that mean? That he's still the undisputed in the super middleweight division. Yes. Just like Bud Crawford is still the undisputed morally at 147-pound division. Just like Jermell Charlo never lost his belt in the 154-pound division. Just like Josh Taylor vacated his belt in 140. At that time, they were still undisputed. All right? Nothing's going to change. And Canelo Alvarez is still going to be campaigning at super middleweight when he faced Edgar Berlanga September 14th. In the eyes of many, he's still the man to be. He is still the undisputed lineal champion. Now, I know there's people out there that don't want to see the Canelo Alvarez versus Edgar Berlanga, even though I've said it quite some time. You might not like a fight, but you can't shame Canelo Alvarez with the potential opponents that you want to see him in the ring with, because he already has separated himself from his contemporaries. Ain't nobody going to enhance his legacy. Even David Benavidez is not going to enhance his legacy. But we heard Turki Alalshikh said that he wants to see Bud Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. And all I'm hearing is that, well, Canelo Alvarez is Canelo Alvarez is cherry picking Edgar Berlanga. Canelo Alvarez is cherry picking. He cherry picked Jermell Charlo. Canelo Alvarez is cherry picking. He's a cherry picker. But then you guys want him to fight the 147-pound undisputed. You want Canelo Alvarez to fight Bud Crawford, and Turki Alalshikh is willing to give whatever money to Canelo Alvarez. But isn't that the ultimate cherry pick? Isn't that Canelo Alvarez fighting a 147-pounder? That's not a cherry pick. That would be the ultimate cherry pick. How is people contradicting themselves, calling him cherry pick, but still asking Canelo Alvarez to fight Bud Crawford? That's really, that's hypocritical, man. That's borderline dumb. So nobody's ever going to be satisfied with Canelo Alvarez. Now, we may be, as fans, satisfied with the David Benavidez and Canelo Alvarez. That's a good matchup. David Benavidez earned his shot at Canelo Alvarez because he was in mandatory precision, right? Mandatory precision, right? Well, Edgar Berlanga's in mandatory precision, right? Did he earn his shot? I'm just trying to say, keep that shame energy, right? We want fighters to face the mandatory in precision, right? Just like we wanted Kell Brooks to face Earl Spence. He was in mandatory precision, right? Just like we wanted the Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury to face the mandatory in Dillian White, right? Because they earned their precision, right? Or we just want to pick and choose what mandatory is. We wanted Suldo Ramirez to fight Dimitri Bivol because he was in mandatory precision. Let's be real. Let's be honest. That's why people was critiquing Lomachenko, because Devin Haney was in mandatory precision, right? Right? Alright then, so we might not like people may not like the Edgar Berlanga and the Canelo Alvarez, but he's in mandatory precision. That's just the facts. But of course, you wanted to see David Benavidez and Canelo Alvarez. Even if Canelo Alvarez would have fought David Benavidez and beat David Benavidez, what has Canelo Alvarez earned? The same thing he had before fighting David Benavidez, he would have had. Canelo Alvarez is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's already a cash cow with the sport of boxing. He already done enough in the sport of boxing, and a lot of these guys haven't even done a quarter of what Canelo Alvarez has done. Now, back to Turki Alalshikh. I think a lot of people saying that Turki is doing good for the sport of boxing, but let's be honest, and I want to do a live about this, and we're going to be talking about this later on. If Turki Alalshikh, which is doing good, you know what I'm saying? I hope that he keeps that momentum, but he said he wants to help the sport of boxing. How is he helping the sport of boxing? By sponsoring the UFC in Mexican Independence Day, when we know in the sport of boxing that is traditionally a boxing date. Not only traditionally a boxing date, we know that's Canelo Alvarez Day. Not only Canelo Alvarez, but also fellow Mexicans. That's always reserved for Canelo Alvarez and reserved for Mexican fighters, and it always been reserved as one of the biggest dates in boxing. But Turki Alalshikh is sponsoring the competitors of boxing, right? The UFC. Is he really trying to help boxing? It seems like Turki Alalshikh is kind of, he's kind of cocky with that money right now. See, it doesn't seem like Turki Alalshikh is kind of humble right now. We're going to be talking about that live. You know what? Canelo Alvarez should tell Turki Alalshikh to shove that money up his behind. Because in all reality, Canelo Alvarez doesn't need nothing, doesn't need nobody. He already got the money, he already got gas station and stuff like that. So Canelo Alvarez does what he want to do because in the end of the day, he earned the right. And even though that we want Canelo Alvarez to do the right thing in terms of enhancing the sport. But you know what? I'm not going to be frustrated with Canelo Alvarez. If I'm going to be frustrated with any of with fighters, I'm going to be frustrated with the guys that haven't earned it, that have all the skills and ability to earn at least half of what Canelo Alvarez have earned. Canelo Alvarez already on his way out. Canelo Alvarez is in position where Roy Jones Jr. was after John Ruiz. He was in position just like Mayweather after Manny Pacquiao. Got nothing left to prove. It's also going to be a young, hungry lion for the elite fighter to face. Anyway, let me know what y'all think, man. Subscribe to the channel, smash the like button. Love you, God bless, and on to the next.